1990s, Chicago Bulls, the dynasty that killed itself, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Phil Jackson, 6 titles in 8 years, the greatest run in basketball history. Ended not by defeat, but by arrogance. General Manager Jerry Krause believed organizations, not players, win championships. That mindset poisoned the team. Pippen demanded a trade, Rodman grew erratic, and Jordan refused to play for anyone else. Once Phil was gone, the 1998 championship parade became a funeral for the dynasty. No injuries, no rival, just pride, politics, and power, tearing apart perfection from the inside. The Bulls didn't fall, they self-destructed. 2010s, Golden State Warriors. Too much greatness, too many egos. Steph Curry's rise changed basketball. The Warriors redefined the game, then broke it. When Kevin Durant arrived, they became untouchable, but also unstable. 2 straight titles couldn't hide the cracks. Draymond's mouth, Durant's insecurity, and the media pressure turned dominance into tension. The 2019 Finals collapse. Durant's torn Achilles, Klay's ACL, and the Raptors' win marked the end. Durant walked. The dynasty survived in pieces, but never the same. Greatness consumed itself, proving too much talent can be as deadly as too little. 1980s Lakers, Showtime's final curtain magic. Johnson ran the greatest show the NBA had ever seen. Fast breaks, flash, and 5 championships in a golden decade. But behind the smiles, Showtime was burning out. Kareem aged out. Riley's voice stopped inspiring. The team's chemistry splintered, and by 1991, Magic's HIV diagnosis ended everything overnight. Showtime's glamour turned into grief. It wasn't just the end of a dynasty. It was the end of an era where basketball felt like Hollywood. 1980s. Celtics. Bird's back and the end of glory. Larry Bird's Celtics were ruthless. Brains, toughness, and precision. 3 championships, constant finals, and battles that defined basketball. But by the late 1980s, their bodies couldn't keep up. Bird's back gave out. McHale limped through pain, and Len Bias's death shattered the franchise's future. Front office loyalty kept the roster old and slow. What was once the smartest, toughest team in the league became too proud to rebuild. The Green Empire didn't collapse in one moment. It just faded away. 2000s Lakers, Shaq and Kobe's war for the throne, 3 straight championships. A global empire built on dominance and ego. Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant hated sharing the spotlight. Phil Jackson called it a civil war. Each title added fuel to their rivalry. By 2004, the locker room was fractured beyond repair. The Pistons humiliated them in the finals. Shaq was traded, and the dynasty crumbled under its own fame. The Lakers didn't lose to anyone. They lost to themselves, proving that 2 kings can't rule 1 throne. 2010's Heat, the super team that burned out. LeBron James promised a dynasty. Not 1, not 2, not 3. Miami felt invincible. 4 straight finals, 2 titles, and global fame. But pressure breeds exhaustion. Wade's knees gave out. Bosh faded under health issues, and LeBron carried too much. The 2014 finals collapse against the Spurs wasn't just defeat, it was surrender. LeBron returned to Cleveland, the Heat fractured overnight, and the Heatless era ended in silence. Super teams don't age, they just burn out fast. 2000 Spurs, the slow death of perfection. Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, Greg Popovich. No flash, no drama, just dominance. 5 championships built on humility and precision. But perfection decays quietly. The league changed, their pace slowed, and the system's cracks appeared. Kawhi Leonard was supposed to be the next torchbearer. Instead, he tore it down. His fallout with Popovich ended 2 decades of order. No scandal, no ego. Just time and trust eroding what once seemed eternal. 1980s, 76ers. 1 ring, 1 collapse. The 1983 Sixers were terrifying. Moses Malone's faux prophecy came true. A near-perfect playoff run. Dr. J finally had his crown. Then nothing. Age struck, egos grew, and front office chaos followed. Charles Barkley arrived too late to save the remnants. Within 3 years, they were irrelevant again. One ring, one dynasty dream, instantly gone. The 76ers' peak was so high, it left nothing to build from. Dominance that consumed its own future. 2000s Pistons. No superstar, no survival defense. Chemistry, balance. The 2004 Pistons dismantled a Lakers dynasty with unity alone. But unity cracks under pressure. No true star to anchor the offense. No closer to save games. Ben Wallace left. Larry Brown left. Rasheed and Rip grew older. Chauncey was traded. By 2008, Detroit's machine broke down. Slow, quiet, irreversible. The dynasty that prided itself on teamwork learned the hardest truth. Without a superstar, survival is impossible. Is 2010's Cavaliers. The LeBron dependency era, Cleveland had no system, just LeBron. His gravity built a dynasty overnight and tore it down just as fast. Kyrie wanted out. Love faded, the roster aged, and LeBron's patience ended. One miraculous title in 2016 masked constant dysfunction behind the scenes. Front office turnover, locker room chaos, and exhaustion drowned the team. When LeBron left in 2018, the Cavaliers didn't decline. They vanished. A dynasty built on one man always collapses when that man walks away. 1990s Rockets, back-to-back, then back to reality. Hakeem Olajuwon ruled the mid-1990s. 2 straight titles. Footwork like poetry and defensive dominance unmatched. When Jordan left, Houston seized the throne, and when he returned, the dream faded. Clyde Drexler arrived, then Barkley, then Pippen. Too many aging stars, no chemistry, no identity. Injuries piled up, and by 1999, the Rockets were done. From unstoppable to unwatchable in 4 years. Their fall proved that even champions can't outplay time. 1970s. Knicks, the original collapse of glory. The 1970s, Knicks defined basketball's beauty. Reed, Frazier, DeBusschere, Bradley. They shared the ball, played defense, and won 2 titles through pure teamwork. But by mid-decade, the roster grew old, the bench thin, and injuries relentless. Reed's knees failed, Frazier lost his quickness, and the franchise drifted into mediocrity. New York's golden era ended not in disgrace, but exhaustion. Greatness had no replacement waiting, only nostalgia. 1990s. Jazz, greatness without reward. Stockton and Malone were perfection in repetition. The pick and roll, the unselfishness, the endurance, all legendary. 2 straight finals appearances, both lost to Jordan's Bulls, both heartbreaks that defined them. The Jazz stayed competitive into the 2000s, but never the same. Age slowed them down, the system calcified, and new powerhouses emerged. They didn't choke, they just ran out of years. The dynasty without a ring became basketball's eternal tragedy. 2010s. Thunder, the dynasty that never was. 3 future MVPs on one roster. Durant, Westbrook, Harden, young, explosive, fearless. 2012 finals at age 23, and the world expected domination. Then the front office chose money over legacy. Harden traded, chemistry lost, and Durant's heartbreak in 2016 sealed the curse. Russ stayed loyal, but couldn't carry the burden alone. In a decade, they went from future dynasty to historical cautionary tale. Proof that potential means nothing without patience. 1990s. Sonics, from finals to franchise erased. Gary Payton and Shawn Kemp electrified Seattle. Defense, dunks, and swagger. The Sonics were built for the spotlight. Their 1996 finals run made them heroes, but the fall came fast. Kemp's decline, trades, and front office chaos tore the team apart. By the 2000s, politics finished what bad management started. The team moved to Oklahoma City, and Seattle lost not just a contender, but its basketball soul. A dynasty erased by greed and geography. 2000s Kings, robbed, broken, forgotten. The Sacramento Kings were basketball art, passing, spacing, and rhythm, long before it was mainstream. Chris Webber, Peja, Bibby, Divac, a team built on chemistry and trust. Then came 2002. The rigged Western Conference Finals against the Lakers became their death sentence. Corruption stole their peak, injuries erased their future, and bad ownership sealed their fate. Within years, they went from contenders to cautionary tale. A dynasty that never got to exist. Not because they failed, but because the league failed them.